Success doesn't begin the day you win. It begins the day you decide to think differently about yourself. Most people spend years waiting for confidence. They wait for proof. They wait for recognition. They wait for permission. And while they wait, life keeps moving. But there is something important you need to understand. Extraordinary people don't wait to feel ready. They choose to step into a stronger version of themselves before the world recognizes it. Think about that for a moment. Every person you admire once stood where you stand now. They had doubts, they had fears, they had uncertainty, they questioned themselves. The difference wasn't that they were born with more talent or luck. The difference was that they decided to hold themselves to a different standard. The world often teaches people to play small, blend in, stay safe. Don't dream too big. Don't aim too high. Don't risk failure. But greatness has never belonged to people who waited for certainty. Greatness belongs to people who decided to act with purpose before they had proof. Because success isn't built after confidence arrives. Confidence is built after action begins. Most people have it backward. They say, when I become successful, then I'll act confidently. They say, when life improves, then I'll give my best. They say, when I feel motivated, then I'll work harder. But life doesn't operate that way. You don't become stronger and then train. You train and become stronger. You don't become successful and then think differently. You think differently and become successful. That shift changes everything. The moment you raise your standards, your life starts changing from the inside out. Because standards determine behavior, and behavior creates results. When you decide that your actions must reflect excellence, something incredible happens. You begin carrying yourself differently. You think differently. You speak differently. You approach challenges differently. Suddenly, average habits no longer fit your future. You stop accepting excuses. You stop tolerating laziness. You stop delaying action. You realize that the quality of your life is connected directly to the quality of your daily choices. Small decisions become powerful. How you wake up matters. How you speak matters. How you spend your time matters. Because every action becomes a vote for the person you're becoming. Many people underestimate daily habits because they look insignificant. But remember this, your future isn't created by dramatic moments. Your future is built by repeated actions. A single workout won't transform your body. A single book won't transform your mind. A single day of hard work won't transform your future. But repeated effort over time changes everything. Consistency creates power. Now think about the difference between average and exceptional people. Average people often react to life. Exceptional people create life. Average people wait for motivation. Exceptional people create discipline. Average people blame circumstances. Exceptional people take responsibility. Average people ask, why is this happening to me? Exceptional people ask, how can I grow from this? The situation may be identical, but the mindset changes the outcome. That is one of life's greatest truths. Challenges do not define people. Responses define people, because pressure reveals standards. When life becomes difficult, average thinking begins looking for exits. It looks for shortcuts. It looks for excuses. It looks for someone else to blame. But strong people think differently. They understand that obstacles are not roadblocks. Obstacles are training grounds. Difficult moments are not punishments. They are preparation, because strength cannot be developed in comfort. Growth cannot happen inside safety. Transformation lives beyond familiarity, and this is why discomfort becomes important. Most people avoid discomfort. They run from challenge. They avoid situations where they might fail. But growth demands discomfort. Every skill you've ever developed required discomfort. Learning to walk involved falling. Learning to speak involved mistakes. Learning anything valuable involves struggle. So why should success be different? The path toward a better life was never meant to feel easy every day. Some mornings you won't feel motivated. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll question yourself. But discipline continues when emotions disappear. And discipline always wins over temporary feeling. Because emotions come and go. Standards remain. That is why winners focus less on mood and more on commitment. They understand something powerful. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And systems are built through habits. Think about your daily routine. What do your actions say about your future? Do your habits match the life you want? Do your actions support your dreams? Because desire alone changes nothing. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants happiness. Everyone wants achievement. But wanting and working are different things. Dreaming and doing are different things. Results respect action, not intention. Action, that is where the separation happens. Now let's talk about fear. Because fear stops more dreams than failure ever will. Fear whispers dangerous things. It says you're not ready. It says wait longer. It says play safe. It says avoid risk. And many people listen. Years pass. Opportunities disappear. Potential remains unused. Not because they lacked ability, because they obeyed fear. But successful people understand something important. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a signal. Often the things that scare you most contain the growth you need most. Think about that. Your future often hides behind temporary discomfort. The presentation you're afraid to give. The opportunity you're afraid to take. The goal you're afraid to pursue. The conversation you're afraid to have. Growth often lives there. On the other side of uncertainty. On the other side of courage. Because courage does not mean absence of fear. Courage means moving despite fear. And every time you act despite fear, you build confidence. Every action sends a message to your mind. It says, I can handle difficulty. I can survive uncertainty. I am stronger than hesitation. And eventually those actions create identity. You stop hoping for confidence. You become confident because confidence is earned. Now consider this. How do you act when nobody's watching? Because character is built in private, not public. Anyone can perform when people are observing. Anyone can work hard when praise is guaranteed. Anyone can stay disciplined for a short period. But true standards appear in silence, when no applause exists, when no recognition exists, when no one notices. That is where greatness is created, behind closed doors, in repeated effort, in ordinary moments. Because extraordinary lives are built through ordinary actions performed consistently. People often think success happens suddenly, but what looks sudden is usually years of invisible preparation, years of discipline, years of sacrifice, years of repeated effort. People only see results. They rarely see process. But process creates results, always. And if you truly want a different future, then understand this. You cannot continue living with old habits and expect a new life. You cannot think like yesterday and create tomorrow. Something must change. And that change begins with standards. Raise the standard for how you work. Raise the standard for your focus. Raise the standard for your health. Raise the standard for your relationships. Raise the standard for your effort. Raise the standard for your life. Because average standards create average lives. And you were not designed for average. You were created with possibilities beyond what you currently see. But potential means nothing without action. Potential without effort becomes regret. Potential without discipline becomes disappointment. Potential without courage becomes wasted opportunity. So stop waiting. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Perfect timing does not exist. Life rewards movement. Life rewards commitment. Life rewards people who decide to begin before they feel prepared. Because clarity comes through action, not before action. Remember this. One decision can alter everything. One decision to become more disciplined. One decision to take responsibility. One decision to stop making excuses. One decision to demand more from yourself. One decision can change your future. And that decision starts now. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Not someday. Now. Starting today. Wake up with purpose. Walk with confidence. Work with intensity. Learn with curiosity. Face challenges with courage. Protect your focus. Respect your time. Guard your energy. And most importantly, become the kind of person your future requires. Because success is not waiting somewhere far away. Success grows from who you become daily. Years from now, you will look back at this chapter of your life, and you will either say, I stayed comfortable, or you'll say, that was the moment I changed. The choice belongs to you. Remember this final truth. No one in this world can become a better version of you than you. Your greatest competition has never been another person. It has always been your untapped potential. So step forward, think bigger, work harder, dream without limits, act with purpose, live with standards. And every day become stronger than the person you were yesterday. Because your future isn't waiting. It's being built by what you choose to do right now.